Hi everyone, welcome back to Islam Unboxed. Today I will be talking about memorizing Quran. Muslims always tell people how many Muslims memorize Quran. I once read a claim as high as 100 million Muslims memorize Quran. First of all, the number is obviously way too high. Secondly, how many of them actually know what it means? I know someone who can recite Quran beautifully and without understand the meaning of any of the verses in that Quran for 45 years. Apart for several words used in some occasions, such as getting onto a bus or public transportation, Bismillah, and greeting someone, Assalamualaikum and Waalaikumsalam, Assalam, right? Or praising God, Alhamdulillah. Well, you know the rest. Thirdly, most of them are either children or teenagers. Well, I actually managed to memorize 15 verses of Quran in English though, not in Arabic. But still, I am proud of myself. I memorized 5 verses of Surah Al-Musalat with very little effort. Let me show you. Chapter 77, verse 15. Woe that day to the deniers. Chapter 77, verse 19. Woe that day to the deniers. 77, verse 24. Woe that day to the deniers. Chapter 77, verse 28. Woe that day to the deniers. Chapter 77, verse 34. Woe that day to the deniers. And now, I successfully memorized another 6 random verses. Again, in English, not in Arabic, but still. Okay, let me show you. Chapter 10, verse 48. And they say, when is this promise if you should be truthful? Chapter 21, verse 38. And they say, when is this promise if you should be truthful? Chapter 27, verse 71. And they say, when is this promise if you be truthful? Chapter 34, verse 29. And they say, when is this promise if you should be truthful? Chapter 36, verse 48. And they say, when is this promise if you should be truthful? Chapter 67, verse 25. And they say, when is this promise if you should be truthful? See? 11 verses memorized with very little effort. Sorry about that. Now, I am working to memorize another 4 verses from Quran, chapter 54. Let me read you the verses, what I'm gonna memorize, Chapter 54, verse 17. And we have certainly made the Quran easy for remembrance. So is there any who will remember? I don't understand why Allah needed to ask a question like this. What kind of answer did he expect? Well, let me continue. Quran chapter 54, verse 22. And we have certainly made the Quran easy for remembrance. So is there any who will remember? Quran chapter 54, verse 32. And we have certainly made the Quran easy for remembrance. So is there any who will remember? Chapter 54, verse 40. And we have certainly made the Quran easy for remembrance. Is there any who will remember? If every verse repeated many times like this, then yes, I agree that Allah made Quran easy to remember. There is another possibility why Quran has a lot of repeats. Zaid ibn Thabit was not that good in compiling Quran. Or either that or Allah has Alzheimer. I can understand if one or two verses repeated once or twice, but I fail to see the benefits of repeating the same verse several times. If Muslims are able to memorize Quran like they claim, like for example the verse, let's say, saying, "Do not touch that teapot, it is hot." If I'm able to memorize this, why would Allah send the same verse 6 times? Something to think about. That's all from me. For those who memorize the words of their God, God bless you. For those who understand what God is saying, God bless you. Have a nice life.